Hello folks, in this video I'm going to record actually how I'm learning Rust. So it's going to be kind of like 100 days of Rust. So let's get started. So you can see my terminal now, and this is a repo called as Rustlings. So you can find this on GitHub, on github.com/rustlang/rustlings. So basically this should be able to find it over here. So if you go here and download this repo, basically it's a Git repository on GitHub. You can download it and get it on your computer, and you would have basically something like this. And once you have that, Rustlings repo also mentions how you can run this whole thing. So they tell you how to install it using curl. So you can see that here, and once you're done for different operating systems, so I am running Mac OS, so I ran this. So if you're running Windows, you can use the Windows thing also here, and then you can also apparently do it on browser, run it on REPL it or Gitpod, and manually of course you can install it. So I'm currently running the latest version of Rust. So this let me show you which version. I mean, as of this writing, this video. So as of this video, the latest version of Rust is 162.1, and I used RustUp to actually keep my Rust compiler up to date. So RustUp is the tool tool chain for Rust. So it's 1.25.1. And what else? I also installed Rust Analyzer, which is actually a language server protocol server. So LSP server. You can go check out how to install that on one moment. I think it's github.com/rustlang/rustanalyzer, and you should get that. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is the one. So it's a Rust compiler front end for IDEs. So you should be able to get the Rust Analyzer over here, or you can actually install it from VS Code. So they would have actually mentioned how to install it on Visual Studio Code as an extension. So my Visual Studio Code is over here. So you can see my extension over here. So I have the Rust Analyzer extension over here. I've enabled it only on this repo, which is the Rustlings repo, and you can actually see that this is kind of like the Rust language support for Visual Studio Code. I think the other one was an old one. Like if you search for Rust, you'd see an older one, and they say it's deprecated, and like this extension is deprecated, and like you use Rust Analyzer instead. So yeah. So this is the thing that you need to use, and once you have this installed, and once you have Rust compiler installed using RustUp, you should be good to go. So let's go back to the terminal, and I'm actually gonna show you how actually learning Rust in this repo. So Rustlings repo is something that helps you learn Rust by overcoming problems, like say errors that you need to fix. Currently I've been fixing some of the errors and like getting through the exercises. They have multiple exercises. I'm gonna record one video for each of the exercises, and then put it out there on YouTube. So let's see. So this is all good now, and let me ensure that we have the latest code. Okay, cool. So yeah, now we can start off from the first exercise. Before we start off, if you have Rustlings installed, so you can just do, so here you can see that my Rustlings is installed here in cargo bin. So Rustlings, I run this and it says thanks for installing Rustlings. Is this your first time? Don't worry, Rustlings was made for beginners. We are going to teach you a lot of things about Rust. But before we can get started, here's a couple of notes about how Rustling operates. Right, central concept about, behind Rustlings is that you solve exercises, and there are many exercises. These exercises usually have some sort of syntax error in them, or which will cause them to fail compilation or testing. Sometimes there is a logical error instead of a syntax error. No matter what error, it's your job to find it and fix it. You will know when you fixed it, because then the exercise will compile and Rustlings will be able to move on to the next exercise. If you run Rustlings in like watch mode, there are different modes, I think. So there's watch mode, which I've tried out already, which we recommend. It will automatically start with the first exercise. Don't get confused by an error message popping up as soon as you run Rustlings. This is part of the exercise that you are supposed to solve. So open the exercise file in an editor and start your detective work. If you're stuck on an exercise, there is a helpful hint you can view by typing hint in watch mode or running Rustlings hint exercise name. If an exercise doesn't make sense to you, feel free to open an issue on GitHub, and we look at every issue, and sometimes like other learnings do too, so you can help each other out. And if you want to use Rust Analyzer with exercises, which provides features like auto completion, run the command Rustlings LSP. Got all that? Great. To get started, run Rustlings watch in order to get the first exercise. Get to the first exercise, basically. Make sure you to have your editor open. So I'm just going to run this Rustlings LSP, basically language server protocol for enabling for using Rust Analyzer. So the output will look something like this. Basically, let me show it again. So it looks something like this. Before running any command, let me show you how the help of Rustlings looks like. So Rustlings is a collection of small exercises to get you used to writing and reading Rust code. And there are some options like version and all that. So what's the version of this? It's v.5, and there's help, which shows this, and then there is verify, which verifies all exercises according to the recommended order. And then there is watch mode, which they recommended, and then runs or tests a single exercise. Hint returns a hint for the given exercise. List exercise available. LSP is something that we just ran, so enables the Rust Analyzer for exercises. So maybe let's start off by trying out list. So let me say Rustlings list, and you can actually see the the whole list of exercises over here. So it says intro 1, intro 2 variables, and the path of each of the exercises. So this is the name, and what is the status? It says pending and whatnot. So name, the path, and what is the status. So if you want if you want to run some particular exercise, you just do let me say help. You just do say something like run and then give the exercise name. For example, let's say I run intro 1. I gave the exercise name and it runs it, and it's all successful. And let's say I wanna say get a hint for exercise 1. I can just say hint and then exercise 1. Remove the I am not done comment in the exercise file to move on to the next exercise. Cool. So yeah, I mean, here you can see when you run the run intro 1, hello and welcome to Rustlings. This exercise compiled successfully. The remaining exercises contain a compiler or logic error. The central concept behind Rustlings is to fix these errors and solve the exercises. Good luck. The source of for this exercise is in exercises/intro/intro1.rs. Have a look. Going forward, the source of the exercises will always be in the success or failure output. Cool. So, and we got the hint for the thing here. And let me clear up the screen. So if you simply say hint, it will give an error, or if you simply say run, it will give an error like this. So you can also run it in watch mode. So it will watch and it will just do things. So here you can clearly see some extra stuff. You can keep working on this exercise or jump into the next one by removing the I am not done comment. So let me go to the Visual Studio Code and type intro 1, and you can actually see over here the I am not done. If I remove this, it will go to the next thing. So here about this I am not done thing, we sometimes encourage you to keep trying things on a given exercise even after you already figured it out. So even if everything is successful, like in this case it's already successful, if you got everything working and feel ready for the next exercise, remove the I'm not done comment below. Execute Rusling's hint intro 1 or use the hint watch subcommand for hint. If you're running this using Rusling's watch, the exercise file will be reloaded when you change one of the lines below. So you just keep changing the file and that will automatically run it. Try adding a print line or try changing what it outputs in your terminal. So try removing a semicolon and see what happens, right? So basically experiment with this whole thing. So I'm just gonna actually go ahead and like say print line, and so you can see suggestions over here, and I'll say boom and give a semicolon here, and then go to the terminal and see what it says. So it's running and it says boom over here. And let's go to the thing and like see what if I actually remove a semicolon here, what does it say? And see here you can see that it says expected semicolon found print line, help. So it gives a help. The Rust compiler gives help. It says add semicolon here, unexpected token and whatnot, right? So let's add a semicolon and then go here. So here now you can see it's all successful. So now if I actually say remove the curly brace over here and go to the terminal, and here you can see it's compiling again automatically, and it says unexpected closing delimiter in the line 31.1, unexpected closing delimiter. So if you go to the Visual Studio Code, you can actually see that it's giving the error about this. Basically there's a closing thing but there's no opening thing. Let's just say they're not expecting this closing thing, right? So I'm just going to remove this and see what it says. So I'm going to go to the terminal, and here it says expected one of the arrow, where, or a curly brace found print line in line 15, right? So interesting. So here you can actually put even an arrow, I think, or even something like where. I have no idea what these are, but I've tried this out before, and it's been interesting. So I'm just gonna go ahead and like put arrow and see what it says now. And wow, so you have a big list of errors. So expected type found curly brace, and like expected type in this macro call does not expand to a type and whatnot. So there is something called macro. There are some macro invocations and whatnot. I mean, I've learned programming languages before, so I know what's a invocation or a call. Macros, I haven't really used them. I know what's types, data types, and I know print line and all. So let's see if you can actually use, say, something else. Say I'm going to go here and then say instead of arrow we can say where, and let me go to the terminal, and here what does it say now? So here it says expected one of colon equal to etc, right? So expected one of this. Okay, so I think curly brace is what we need to use. Of course, I don't know how to use the where and like the arrow, so I'm gonna go ahead and like just put the curly brace for now. This time I'm gonna actually put the opening curly brace but not close it. Let's see what it does now. So it says unclosed delimiter, so good error. So let's just go ahead and like close it over here, and we're good to go. And what does the terminal say? So it's compiling, it's running, all good. Let's go back and like let's say remove say something like this, the R over here. Let's see what it says. Let's go to the terminal. I don't know what that R is, and it says expected one of exclamation mark, or like basically blank mark, or the square bracket found this. So Let's just go back to the Visual Studio Code and like just put R for now. But that's an interesting thing because they put R hash over here and ended it with a hash. And what else? Can println work with single quotes? I don't know. Let's try it out. Okay. Let's see if it works. Okay. So it says character literal may only contain one quote point. Okay, so I think single quotes are called character literals, and you can have only one character, one quote point, or like some, yeah. So it says if you meant to write a str like string literal, use double quotes. So it's pretty cool. So I'm just gonna go ahead and like, so you can see this here, and I'm gonna go ahead and like change it off over here. Yeah, like put the double quotes over here, and let's go to the terminal, and you should be able to see that this is running successfully. So let's go back to the Visual Studio Code, and like I want to remove this semicolon over here, and let's see what error we see now. Go to the terminal, and it's compiling. Oh, it compiled and it's running. Looks like we don't need the last semicolon. Interesting. So let me go back to the Visual Studio Code and even pull this up and see what Rust says. Go to the terminal, and it's compiling. It's running. Awesome. So you don't need the last semicolon alone. Interesting. So this is something that I noticed before, so I just wanted to show it here. Go to the Visual Studio Code and like press. I mean, like if I save this, it automatically, I think like saves stuff and like puts formats things, but I'm not sure why it's not doing it now. I'm just gonna go ahead and format it myself. And I'm gonna actually remove this. I'm done in the next exercise, and I'll do another video there. That's all I had for this video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.